No, stop that. Right, here we go, because he's an expert now. So no, it's not all about first place, is it? And hydration tips, why am I talking about that? Loopin Lava, Jarvis Com, then the volcano climb, power-ups, feather and anvil, cosmic. Let's get into it. 20 seconds or so. I've speeded it up. Ooh, lots of screens going on there. That's exciting, isn't it? This will probably be split into a few things, but the start, pretty standard for a ladder race there. Look at my hat. So we're up against Platinum Plonkers. They are, or were, oops, giving it away. They were 5 places above us, or 3 places, or something like that. So we were challenging them, and as the ladder works, if you beat a team above you, then you swap places or move above them, and they drop down a place. So as the nature of ladder racing goes, if you are challenging a team above you, it is going to be a tougher race. So this one, with respect to our other opponents that we've raced in the recent weeks where they've challenged us, this one is a little bit tougher. We've got a few things to look out for on this one. We were expecting them to push the pace quite high, but it was all fairly standard operating procedure at the moment, going around the top of the volcano, or around the top edge of the volcano I should say, and then heading towards the new section of the Jarvis climb, which is canny. You'll see that I've got an anvil already. I hold on to it because I'm not really sure if I'm going to get a feather at any time, which would be useful, but we want to... why are they doing that? Oh, that was when they started dancing. Some of their riders, everybody's got steering, which is normally agreed upon during the sort of process of agreeing a race. Steering was never... if it's never mentioned, it's just accepted that steering is on. So you're familiar with this part of the route. Comes down, when we come back up there, and it's a bit of a spike in power numbers. So anyway, our captain, Mr. Mark Rigby, who has a bit of a fear of sheep, but we'll not go into that right now. This is also the finish area, but anyway, Captain Mark Rigby, he knows that he's not got that punch at the moment. He's lost a bit of fitness through injury, and he pushes the pace up here to keep things a little bit sort of unholy, and just keep things a bit spicy. So he's moving to the front. He's on the front, so we've still got draft. You can see my draft gauge in the bottom. Oh, I've got my mouse over it, but anyway, it's sort of highlighted with that black square around it. So that's the watts saving. The gauge next to it, the Weeball, that's like kind of your sprint power, anaerobic power. It does recharge if you are pedaling under FTP levels. So you'll see that fluctuate. It certainly drops when I put in more effort later on. So there's the team that we're up against if you wanted to pause that, but we've also got, I've got a similar screen at the end of the race as well, but I've got that sitting behind my race window so I can flick between. I've made a few notes about who we're up against. One of them's a couple of them are very good sprinters, and a couple more are quite a sort of diesel engines, not too good at sprinting, but can push high pace for 20 minutes or so. As I say, throughout this we're kind of on guard for any attacks and things, but we're also looking out for any chance to kind of put a bit of pressure on anybody languishing at the back. So I'm fairly confident that I won't get dropped here. And we can sort of just put the squeeze on, drop an anvil here, just to increase the pace, trying to make people who might have a good sort of sprint or something just to loosen them up a bit, and also try and start wearing them down. There is a guy, I think it's Etchel, he's on a climbing setup, So he's obviously set up for the volcano where we're about to head to now, or we are heading to, but where we're about to get to, as you know. So we're looking out for their attacks and things, but as we go around to the left here, everything's obviously still together, which is nice. We're expecting things to kick off. It doesn't quite kick off in a sort of a sprint efforts kind of way, but powers do go up. There's a guy on the front, Bailey, who's just putting a little bit of an effort. I'd take it to him and go past and just see where people are at. We've got Chris Lawrence, we've got Kev, Neil Beatty, and obviously Rigby and myself, Knob, trying to hang on. Here I think Mark starts suffering, but you see I come through the pack there because I can I can see or sense that some people are struggling at the back. Mark does start dropping now, and unfortunately we lose him, so it's 4 against 5, but we know that 2 of their riders are suffering. So I'm at the back now, just in front of the guy here. I'm going to try and let a little gap go to Kev, and then I'm going to put the squirt on and come through, leaving that guy essentially out of the draft, and he has gone as well. He's now 4 or 5 seconds back. That's Facey, and we've left him. So it's 4v4. Some of the guys tried to hang back a little bit to try and get him back on, but they couldn't, and that's just the way it works. So it was the old rope-a-dope. Very cunning tactic, but in ladder racing that's what you've got to do. You've got to try and drop other riders, rather than sort of worry about, oh, I want to be first, I want to be first. It's not all about being first. It's about whittling down the other team, weakening them, and then whoever's left has to try harder, and essentially makes our role a little bit easier. I'm at the back again, this guy in the orange Tron, coming through. We're rolling, pushing again, me and Kev. I come through. We see when their power numbers are slow to respond, and obviously we can also see their intensity factors on the left, on one of the Sorcerer's Rift windows. You can see now that on the map in the top right hand corner, the 2 purple dots to another guy's really suffering, and that's Bailey. So he's pretty much gone now. Kev just dangling in front and just coming back onto the group. Kev was superb this time. Me and him were tasked with sort of just making it a bit tricky for the riders hanging off the back. So now it's 4 snow riders against 3 of their guys. So Bailey did make it back on, but he's suffering. He really is suffering. And now we're just heading up, and you'll see that Lodge launches an attack here, and he's away off the front, which is basically the race winning, well, the winning move in terms of first place. But we've dropped another guy. In fact, what I'll do is I'm going to pause the footage and I'm going to go back to that and show you in slowed down time. And I'll yes. And there you go. So I've put it down to 1.5 speed, so you can see that Lodge launches an attack here. Can't actually see him get away because of all the feather power-ups, but he's away. He's 23 years old, light as a feather, and off he goes. We don't chase him in terms of trying to push on. I mean, we're all hanging out our backsides. It's now 4v1. You can see that Etchell is gone, Bailey's gone, and Vasey's gone. So it's 4 against 1 for second place, etc. And we're all launching anvils. Now here, I'm very close to getting dropped. Kev's just loitering for me to get back on, and then the 2 at the front, Neil and Chris Lawrence, with Patrick, who's our DS. He was able to just say, hold up a little bit, and we'll get everybody back together. So it's a 4v1 situation, and the guy we're up against, who's Fox Cunning, is a, well, his stats show that he's not maybe done a sprint in ladder races, so we weren't expecting him to have a sprint. Myself, Kevin, actually all 4 of us are decent with sprints, and we're confident that we can, at least get second and third, and just shake him up a bit and hopefully not lose second place. The descent of the volcano is it's not totally downhill. Obviously most of it is, but there's a few little undulations where you just got to be careful that you use the downhill to push a little bit to get you up the little spikes now and again on the way down. The little bumps, like this one here, it goes back up to 5%. If you're tired, you might miss that. So it drops down here back down to sea level, back towards the finish, and we'll now take it down to just normal speed. Look at that, seamless, no one notices. I'd made I think the correct decision, to be honest with you, because I was very tired, still a little bit rough from the night before, but anyway, that I said, right, I'll try and lead us out. Lodge is away and gone, 10 seconds ahead of us, 9 seconds. I'm pushing the pace, and then Fox comes out with a 10 watt plus kilo, and we're, oh, crikey, finish line, quick. Kev's using the draft, good lad, go on Kev, comes through. I managed to get past that guy, and then Neil and Chris just miss out on their third place, fourth and fifth. But it was a spot on race there. Well done to everyone involved. Thank you to obviously the Platinum Plonkers, fantastic stuff. And absolutely shattered after that one. Great result, 29-26, a victory for the Snow Springs. And we move up the ladder, so things get a little bit more tough, but you can see the stats there that actually mark for all his efforts. He was actually putting out on Zwift Power anyway, he had the highest watts, but the sprints at the end, you can see, were all 10 plus watts per kilo, which is very strong. And the 29, 30, 29, 30, you can see how close it was at the end. But as I say, it's not all about first place, because we got second, third, fifth and sixth, and obviously we got a point from Mark as well. We let first place go. Well, to be honest with you, we were going to catch that little fella. He was away and gone. So bravo to Morgan Lodge from SRT, nice racing dude. Bravo to Alex Fox, bravo to William Etchell, Aidan Bailey and Lewis Vasey. Some good efforts there, good attacks, and see some strong powers, especially Fox there at the end. As I say, if you look at his sprint numbers at the beginning of the race, it was 8 something, so we weren't expecting him to do that, but fair play, he put in a brave effort to try and get second place. If they'd got second, what would that have been? They would have had 19, 23, 26, 28. So they would have won if they'd got second place there, based on us then getting third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So it was very important that we beat him at the end. So he was racing for all out there. So huge kudos to that effort. It made the race really exciting. Good finale. So anyway, there you go.